let's keep moving forward with this IT stuff. Why do you think it is that us small business people are so frustrated with IT?
Well, because you just want it to work. Right? I mean,
like the phone. I pick it up. I want the darn thing to just work.
That's right. That's right. And those services are out there. But in a lot of occasions, when you're trying to do it on your own without the help, it's just very frustrating. And look, I've been in it for 30 years, so I can talk it, but I still can't do it myself. I understand how it applies. I understand what the really smart people can do with it. Right, but it's complicated stuff, and that's why small businesses need some help. And now you can call a company like Wincourse and get that help, and it can fit into your budget.
Okay,
right?
Now answer me this question before we get started on your article. This is all electronic stuff, right? So why is it when you fix it, it just doesn't stay fixed? Why does it keep breaking? I don't understand that.
There are so many things that nowadays attack technology, right? And you may say it's all fine, but there are constant streams of communication, protocols, data, stuff, right, that is coming through the processors of whatever it is you're using, whether it's a phone or a laptop or an iPad. And bottom line, in some occasions, that stuff is being sent through there intentionally to break it. And sometimes the mix of the different technologies don't work well together. This app and that app, or this operating system and that app. And you just never know. And not to mention, there are bad people out there that are intentionally trying to get your stuff.
As our president said, there's some bad hombres out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, stop with the bell, man. I thought we were going to go all day without the bell.
But that was agreeing with you. Usually the bell rings because we're making fun of you.
I have some of that for later.
Okay, let's get started. Most common IT issues for small businesses. I'm ready for you.
Well, the first one is, and most important, who can I trust? Most small business people, if anything, they really want to trust someone, so they end up finding, and I'll use the term, Bob the IT guy, because a friend of a friend knows Bob, because trust is key, right? And the fact of the matter is that you've got to find and interview individuals that can help you address what your real needs are, and someone that you trust. And that's important.
This reminds me of, I wasn't the brightest, sharpest pencil in the schoolhouse, right?
Was you say? Yeah.
But I used to tell my friends all the time, I don't need to know this stuff because one day I'm going to be rich and I'm going to hire somebody to do that.
Right.
Well, you know what I've learned? I've learned you cannot hire somebody to do something that you don't know anything about. It's almost impossible to evaluate and review them. That's what this is. Me trying to bring somebody on board or pick a third-party company like yours to help me with this stuff, if I don't know anything about it, it is really hard to do.
Well, Joe, there are, I'm sure, a lot of firms out there, and certainly Wincourse Technologies is one of them, where it doesn't cost any money to sit down and have a conversation. It doesn't cost anything in a lot of occasions, in most occasions at least with Wincourse, to actually see how some things may work. Those organizations are out there that are willing to help you and help educate you, and that's where you're going to get your trust, right? But sometimes you just don't even know where to go. Right? I mean, someone may hear Wincourse Technologies now on the radio, but prior to that, how would they find Wincourse Technologies? So that's the challenging part. But there are a lot of people that are willing to spend the time with you up front and not try and get money out of your pocket.
Right. Okay. Number two.
How do we use the cloud?
Oh, boy, this cloud. If I hear the word cloud one more time.
And it's such a really big, broad term, but there are some significant things that the cloud has brought to small and medium businesses that are allowing them to really advance their organization, right? That's available through the cloud. And most of the cloud stuff that I'm talking about, the things that we do at Wincourse, have to do with small monthly leased prices, pay as you go, right? So you don't have to build this technology. Right, you don't have to have someone internally, things of that nature. They're on your premises, support it, etc. And the number of different types of things that you can do for the cloud, specifically small business, is huge. You just would never believe it unless you sat down with someone that understands it.
And again, it's like sharing a plane or a timeshare or whatever that is. Number three. Should I employ a bring your own device program? So one of the things that a lot of small businesses are doing are moving away from actually providing cell phones, iPads, laptops, desktops, and they're moving to a mechanism called bring your own device. And what they're doing is they're procuring desktops, something that Wincourse Technology does quite a bit. They're procuring desktops that are in the cloud. Some people call them virtual desktops or VDI. And you can provide a desktop with all of the things that your employees need, right? And you can stream that to their devices. So they could use an iPad or their own laptop, yet it's your system that you are providing them for a very reasonably monthly cost. Got it. Number 4.
Device crossover. In other words, how do I use the right device for my workers, right? So in a lot of occasions, organizations are handing out laptops, right? Now, I'll use this as an example. And that's how they get to their system of record, the software that they use to kind of run their business.
Right.
Yet, a lot of their employees are in the field. They're on the go. Right? They don't actually have, they have to sit down and go to a Panera Bread or somewhere in order to get Wi-Fi to use that laptop to be able to get to that application. Where the real work is being done might be at customer sites or it's in the field, right? And what would really work well is if they had a tablet or an iPad, if they could get to that application, because they could use cellular technology for the connectivity, and they literally could do that stuff right from the job site.
We've actually implemented that here at the radio station. We have iPads for all our sales folks with internet access. They could do contracts on site, take payments, all with the iPad.
Right.
In the old days, that was 7 trips.
That's exactly right. And so, and then this is another example. Well, and most people, most people just don't recognize that you literally can take the very application that you're using on your desktop or your laptop, and you can actually put it in the cloud and actually get delivered that exact application on your phone, as an example. So then this technology is not expensive.
Okay. Number 5.
Desktop support. This is key, right? This is most small businesses. You're not large enough to be able to warrant your in-house IT person, right? You've got Bob, the IT guy, right?
I can't get him until Tuesday.
That's the problem. It's
right.
You know, it's really funny. I was working with an organization. It was about a $5 million company. They actually were a drilling firm. They drill for pylons and stuff. Nice company, okay? And he had a pretty significant business. He had about 25 or 30 people, and he had a server there with his IT applications and stuff that he runs his business. And when I went and sat down and talked to him, he had called his IT guy 2 days ago because he had a problem and it wasn't allowing them to one of their primary pieces of software that they needed to run their business. And this particular IT person was with a customer in Charleston, South Carolina. And the bottom line is he couldn't get him for 2 days. And it significantly adversely affected their business. They did a workaround, right? He's an entrepreneur. He's going to find a way to get it done. Now, 24/7 by 365, he picks up the phone, he gets a call. There's a 2-hour SLA. He's fixed. So desktop support, when you're talking about, you know, someone can't print, right? You're talking about somebody.
Oh, that's frustrating right there. Can't print.
Are you kidding? Can't get to the internet, right? You know, I don't know what's wrong. All I know is that it's saying that I can't connect, right? Those issues are plenty with the small businesses. And if you added up the amount of production that is lost every week, every month, every year, it is significant. And a lot of occasions, if you analyze the soft cost, associated with that lack of production, you could pay for your solution. Now, the problem is, small business guy, he's just looking at his checkbook,
right,
his bank account, and he's saying, well, it's not coming out there. But desktop support is a primary issue.
Got it. Number 6.
Website management. Nowadays, you got to have a website. Right, you got to use social media. I'm not. Things of that nature. The fact is that sometimes people pay enough and they get the website out there, but then they don't dedicate any additional resources to maintaining that website, to keeping it up to date. It's something from a sales and marketing standpoint that there has to be some level of consciousness associated with it with a small business.
Go to number 7.
Number 7. Security issues.
Oh, that's becoming. It's amazing to me how many people I'll send an email to, and they will something will come back and say, hey, there's some kind of an issue with your email or something like that. It's happening more and more.
The problem is that when your email is with it's a POP account. In other words, if your email is through GoDaddy or Time Warner, those things are attacked fairly regular with malware and certain things, right? It really needs to be protected a lot more to alleviate and to mitigate that. And so when you talk about additional security, the biggest issue in small business of breach between you and I is disgruntled employees taking your data off of your devices. And that's probably the single biggest breach that there is. So now, there's a lot of things you
can do. Can you work with that? I mean, if I'm dealing with the cloud, it makes it harder for them to do that? Or
absolutely. There are a number of tools that we use where, let's pretend that you're using an iPad or a desktop. We literally can cut them off. We can, nowadays there is technology. We can go back into the activity logs and actually see where this employee downloaded.
Oh, we could get them. We could get them. We could give them to business. Oh, that'd be good.
I mean, there's technology if you're using pads where literally let's say you can't find a salesperson, you haven't, or whatever, somebody that's out in the field, and the next thing you know, you're like, hey, let's just wipe that thing. So remotely we can wipe it.
Number 8.
Get out of the mode. They want to get out of the mode of waiting until it breaks. Right? A lot of small businesses, they keep their fingers crossed. It's been a couple of weeks, it's been a month, we haven't had any problem. But really, what they need to do to scale their business and to move forward, they need to be more proactive. They need to get out of this thing of wait until it breaks, because if you're waiting until it breaks, you have no idea what's going to break. And when, of course, you're gonna need that. So that's a major issue.
And number 9, this has got my name written all over it.
Well, frustrated users. You're asking your staff to go out. You're asking them to work hard and put in the time, and it's your job as the owner or the person that's in charge to give them the tools that can help them to be most productive. And a lot of occasions, you're paying these folks based off of some level of commission or performance, right? But yet you're not providing the same level of tools that are necessary for them to maximize that.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 10.
You can't afford IT person.
That's kind of where I would be. I always think that.
That's where most small businesses are. And most of those small businesses are not looking at the managed services or the cloud services that are available to them to have significantly better quality of technology to help them accomplish things at a significantly reduced price from building it in their own facility.
And that brings us to number 11.
How much should I be spending on IT? This is always subjective, right? But it is common belief, if you listen to the experts, right, that you should be spending anywhere from 2 to 7% of your top line on IT. Now, 7 may sound like a lot, but
7 sounds like a ton.
Well, it does, and a lot of it has to do with your business. A lot of it has to do with how much technology you need to provide your services. cases take care of your customers. A lot of it has to do with whether or not you are in a significant growth mode and you're trying to scale, or whether or not you're maintaining. So it's in that range. It's going to be different for everyone. But what it isn't, Joe, is nothing.
Right.
That I can promise you.
Right.
And so if you're only spending, and you can only spend 1 to 2% in that category, you certainly should make sure that you are spending that in the best realm possible.